Angels are ready to rock and roll at home on a very hot night in Anaheim, California tonight. It is 83 degrees at first pitch, a humid evening as well. Forecast, as you'd expect, for clear weather all night and all series long, at least as far as Southern California is concerned. TBS MLB postseason is brought to you in HD by DirecTV, delivering the most sports in HD. The Red Sox at 95 and 67. The wild card representatives line up this way for their skipper, Terry Francona. Jacoby Ellsbury leads off in center. Dustin Pedroia bats and plays second. Big Papi David Ortiz, the designated hitter, with Kevin Youkilis at first. J.D. Drew back in the lineup in right field for Boston with Jason Bay at left. Mike Lowell over at third. Jed Lowry, the shortstop, bats eighth, and the captain, Jason Varitek, will catch and bat ninth. It's John Lackey, a 12-game winner. Buck Martinez getting the ball in game one tonight.
Well, he's making his 10th postseason start as well, and he knows what this is all about. This is a good opportunity to put his team out in front right here at home.
So Jacoby Ellsbury ready to go, and it's a called strike, and we're underway in Anaheim.
John Lackey started out the season on a disabled list, and he finished up with a 12-5 record, a good ERA at 3.75. You're going to see a lot of two-seam fastballs from Lackey, something different. He's got fastball, sinker, curve, slider, and a change. But you've got to discount his late season numbers. He did not pitch well, and he will not get rattled in this game. He has the makeup to go ahead and pitch no matter how he starts out. He's going to give you 6 or 7 innings. He's going to keep you in this ball game.
10 earned runs in 2 2/3 innings in his last start against the Rangers. And Ellsbury couldn't check his swing. And the count to him now, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ellsbury finished the regular season red hot, an 18-game hitting streak at the end of regular season play. And the running game is something we'll keep an eye on all series long. Ellsbury with 50 stolen bases this year. And he drives one into right. It's playable for Matthews on the warning track, and that ball is high off the wall. Ellsbury into second. That ball found another gear, a double to start the game.
Now, get used to the ball carrying like that. When it's hot like this in Anaheim, the ball jumps. That was a 2-strike swing, and he just put a good stroke on it. And watch how the pitch jumps off his bat. Not a bad pitch, low, but out over the middle of the plate. And Ellsbury put a charge in it. Hits at the middle of the fence in right field, and Matthews plays it off the wall. Don't be surprised if this becomes a home run derby tonight, the way the ball has flown all afternoon.
So Dustin Pedroia, the Boston second baseman, second in the American League in hitting at .326. And Lackey jumps in front of him. A spectacular season for Pedroia. And a little tapper knocked down by Lackey. Pedroia retired. Ellsbury has to hold at second. 1 out.
Well, Lackey's not the greatest of fielders. He's committed 5 errors this year, but he was able to knock that down, locate the ball, then throw Pedroia out. Pedroia's trying to advance Ellsbury from second to third. He stays inside the ball, but it goes right back to Lackey. He bobbles it, stays right there on the mound. He's able to recover, checks Ellsbury at second, and then throws Pedroia out at first.
Well, the Red Sox hoping, Buck, you're right about this being a home run derby. And here's Big Papi with 23 of them this year. And he has worn out the Angels in his postseason career.
Pretty impressive numbers. 7th consecutive season with 20 or more, and he has missed significant time with that wrist injury.
Ripped foul pass to Shera at first, strike 1. In his postseason career against the Angels, David Ortiz, 16 hits in 34 at-bats. That's a .471 batting average with 3 home runs and 9 runs batted in. And he would love to give the Red Sox an early lead in the first inning tonight. Ground ball, right side deep. Kendrick from the corner infield box. Ellsbury at third, but now with 2 outs.
Yeah, Pedroia moves the runner up. That's a run. And he didn't get him over. He tried to, got it right back to the pitcher, and that's a ground ball that just moves Ellsbury over to third.
So Kevin Youkilis, the Boston first baseman, digs in for the first time. Youkilis hit .312 in the regular season. He hit 29 home runs, drove in 115 men.
If you've not seen much of Kevin Youkilis this season, you're going to be amazed at his hitting stroke. Watch how he separates his hands and slides that top hand up near the label of the bat, and then slides it down just before he initiates his swing. And we've asked him about it several times. Where'd that come from? He goes, I don't know. It just feels comfortable, and I don't know how it started, but it's working for me. So don't expect him to change.
1-1 pitch, ground ball third. Sean Figgins up and across. A leadoff double wasted by Boston. John Lester to the mound in a scoreless game. Red Sox left a man at third in the top of the first. Here come the Angels in the bottom half for Mike Scioscia. The Angels skipper, it'll be Sean Figgins leading off. Garrett Anderson moves to the number 2 spot in left field. Mark Teixeira hits third over at first. Vladimir Guerrero will be the designated hitter. Torrey Hunter in center. Howie Kendrick at second base. Then it's Mike Napoli behind the plate. He's been red hot. Gary Matthews Jr. in right field, and Eric Ibar, the shortstop, will hit ninth against left-hander John Lester, 16-6 in 2008. Figgins at .276 on the year. And how strange is it not to see Josh Beckett starting game 1 for Boston?
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but Beckett strained an oblique muscle in his last side session at Fenway Park. They shut him down, caught it before he really hurt himself. They expect him to pitch in game 3.
And a very late swing by Figgins. 0-2.
There are not many clubs in baseball that could replace a Josh Beckett, but the Red Sox can. John Lester is actually throwing better than Beckett at the moment.
Yeah, you heard Dennis Eckersley on the pregame show talk at length about how Lester might right now be the best Boston pitcher as he goes in game 1 tonight. And a soft ground ball to Pedroia at second retires Figgins easily, 1 man down.
Now he can get in right-hander's kitchen. He's got a great fastball. He'll throw up in the upper 90s. He'll throw as hard as 95, 96 miles an hour. And he can always cut the ball inside the right-handed hitters. What he has done this year that's helped take him to the next level is he's gotten command of the inside part of the plate to left-handers. So now he feels comfortable on both sides of the plate, and that's a hitter's nightmare.
And so his first left-hand batter now is Garrett Anderson, hitting .293 with 15 home runs for the Angels. And a ball outside to Garrett Anderson. The effect of moving Anderson to the number 2 spot for the Angels a month ago or so has been what?
It has been the ability to get on base, and now with the protection of Mark Teixeira hitting third, he gets some pretty good pitches to hit.
And Anderson aboard with the first Angels hit of the night.
Garrett Anderson swinging the bat very well at the end of the season into the postseason, and gets off to his October baseball with a good at bat against John Lester. That inside fastball, he was quick enough to get on top of it and drill it past Pedroia. Dustin Pedroia's got great range at second, but he can't flag this one down. It's past him before he could get fully extended.
So a 1-out single for Anderson sets it up for Teixeira and Guerrero. First postseason games for Mark Teixeira. A 33 home run year, drove in 121 between Atlanta and Anaheim this year. And I think it's safe to say, Buck, the acquisition of Teixeira was the World Series or bust mentality for this Angels ball club when they got him from the Braves.
Absolutely. Mike Scioscia knows that they have all of the parts in place now. Starting pitching, good lineup, and a great bullpen.
Very short lead by Anderson. And Lester misses high, ball 2.
This is when the pitcher is most vulnerable in the first inning, before he really gets into the flow of the game and gets command of his pitches. One thing Lester can do now, he has 4 quality pitches that he can lean on. If he can't command the cutter right now, he's got to bring the changeup into the mix early.
Teixeira, a switch hitter, batting right-handed. And a nasty breaking ball tied him up.
One of the 4 pitches. So you just can't stand out there and pound on the fastball if you don't have command of it, because you're working with the most difficult part of the lineup here in the first inning.
Teixeira has hit into 17 double plays this year, and a step slower from the right side if Lester can get a ground ball here.
That was a sinker ball that he pulled all the way to the inside, and right now his adrenaline's probably causing him problems. Remember, he clinched the World Series last year, started game 4, but it was a very late start. He didn't know he was going to start. Wakefield was scratched. This one, he knows he's going to start for the last couple of days. He's got to get control of his emotions and calm himself down.
Fly ball, right center field. That's going to drop for a hit. Anderson had to go halfway in case it was caught. Teixeira has a hit in his first postseason at bat. And here come the Angels, 2 on with 1 man out in the first.
Mark Teixeira does exactly what they want him to do, get on base. That ball's off the plate inside at 94 miles an hour. He fights it off and dumps it in front of Jacoby Ellsbury. He's got a great swing from both sides of the plate. You can see how he stays inside that ball and gets the barrel on the bat and just drives it to right center. This is the best protection you can have for Vladdy Guerrero. Get guys on base ahead of him. 1 RBI in his last 48 postseason ABs and no extra base hits during that time.
So the load does not have to be carried entirely by Guerrero, but he has 2 Angels on in the first inning in game 1. Popped up. Shallow right. J.D. Drew. 2 down. So Guerrero continues his postseason struggles. Jumped at the first pitch, 2 on, 2 out.
Well, he's a free swinger, and you can't get on him for swinging at the first pitch because this is his approach. He can handle that ball. This time he doesn't do it. He pops it up to right. There is no particular strength or weakness to Vladdy Guerrero's swing. He's a free swinger that has a pretty good idea at the plate, and he can hit just about any pitch. He got beat with that one. If you let John Lester off the hook here in the first inning, you could be asking for trouble because you give him a chance to get into a groove and escape the first inning.
And he has said he often doesn't feel that rhythm until the second or the third inning of play. So here's Torrey Hunter at 278. He too with 21 home runs this year. One of the big ticket acquisitions by the Angels.
Brought the curveball into the mix already, and that's the experience of Veritek. Not allowing Torrey Hunter to stand up there and sit on fastballs. This is part of the 3-4-5 improvement in Mike Scioscia's lineup we talked about. Torrey Hunter has delivered.
Ball 2.
Still pitching, not throwing. Veritek called back-to-back curveballs to Hunter. So now on a 2-0 pitch, this is where Mickey Hatcher, the hitting coach, tells his hitters, don't be aggressive here. Be relaxed and make sure you get a good pitch. Don't try to do too much when you got the count in your favor.
Anderson at second, Teixeira at first. And now 3-0.
Dino Ebel at least made it look like he gave Hunter the take sign, holding out one finger indicating take one. Maybe.
Nope. 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, that's the old decoy. He pointed down at the ground towards the home plate. Third base coach Dino Ebel just threw out a little decoy there, and obviously that's not the take sign.
It won't be on now either. 3 balls and a strike, bottom first. Runners go. Ball 4, they're loaded.
Pretty good indicator that Mike Scioscia is going to force the offense. Running on a 3-1 pitch. Defensively, both of these ball clubs are very good. They're third and fourth in the league, respectively. The Red Sox are third. They committed just 85 errors. Gold Glovers at the corners on the infield. A lot of speed in the outfield. And the captain, Jason Varitek, also has a Gold Glove.
So no place to put Howie Kendrick. He missed a lot of time with a bad hamstring. He's hitting .306 in regular season play. And was one of their best hitters with runners in scoring position in the regular season.
.366 with runners in scoring position. He has forced it with the bases loaded. Not quite as effective. And he has missed significant time. 65 games he missed during a couple of different stints on the DL.
Lester continues to stretch in the first. Chopper hit toward third. Easy play, Lowell. And Lester is out of a big first inning jam, and we are scoreless after one. Well, Buck, both ball clubs wasted a first inning scoring opportunity, and now J.D. Drew leads off the second for Boston. And Drew down a quick strike. Remarkable. J.D. Drew, 4. Count them 4 at bats since August 17th. A bad back in there tonight for game 1.
He's had injections, epidurals. He's had all sorts of treatment, and it's amazing he's in this game. And we're going to watch his bat speed. That ball he fouled off on the first pitch, the bat was pretty quick through the zone. It's remarkable that he's able to pick it up that quickly.
19 home runs, 64 knocked in for the Red Sox. J.D. Drew hit .280.
Pretty good pitch right there. That's a good curveball. John Lackey's had a great curveball all year long, but he's really thrown a lot more sinking fastballs that he's pitching to contact. And a breaking ball in the dirt. Lackey pitched very well against the Red Sox this year. He beat him twice and took a no-hitter into the 9th inning earlier at Fenway Park, and it's a departure from what he had done in the past. They'd hit him fairly well.
Hard hit ground ball to second, tied up Howie Kendrick. He hangs in there. And 4 ground ball outs from Lackey to start tonight's game.
Well, that means the defense is going to be very important behind him. In the outfield, it is Aaron Anderson, Torrey Hunter, and Gary Matthews Jr. 2 great center fielders playing in center and right. It's Figgins, Ibar, Howie Kendrick, and Mark Teixeira, third base to first base. Teixeira had a Gold Glove, and Mark Napoli has done the majority of the catching down the stretch for the Angels.
And here is Jason Bay. We talked a lot about the different faces on the Angels ball club. No greater change for the Red Sox than in left field, where Manny Ramirez is now a Dodger, and he had a big game tonight in their victory over the Cubs. But Jason Bay has stepped in and has been remarkably good in left field for Boston.
Yeah, he's done a good job, and he's certainly not the impact hitter that Manny Ramirez is, and he knows he can't replace Manny's number. Before the trade, the Boston Red Sox were 61-48. After the trade, they went 34-19 down the stretch.
And the Red Sox, to a man, have all said, look, you can't replace a guy like Manny Ramirez, but the goal was to be a better team, and they feel that with Jason Bay, they are that. First strikeout of the night for Lackey. Bay retired. 2 up, 2 down in the second. MLB postseason and Espanol. Live MLB postseason Spanish language feed available via the SAP button.
Now, here's a very interesting at bat for the Red Sox. 2007 World Series MVP. He had a homer and 4 RBIs in that sweep of the Colorado Rockies. 17 home runs on the season.
And the injury to Lowell
is a torn labrum in the hip.
And so what causes Lowell the most discomfort? Playing in the field or swinging the bat?
Playing in the field to this point. It's something that's going to have to be surgically repaired, and he's going to have that done in the offseason. Swinging is not a real problem. The only time it really hurts him at the plate is when he starts to swing and then checks his swing.
They play Lowell to play in the outfield, and he pulls it to left, but right at Garrett Anderson, and he makes a shoestring pitch. Lowell hit it hard, but the Red Sox retired 1-2-3 in the top half of a scoreless second. No score in Anaheim, and aerial coverage provided to you by Goodyear. Get home in comfort with Goodyear Silent Armor technology. Mike Napoli leads things off in the second for the Angels. He hit .273 in the regular season with 20 home runs. And Buck, I know throughout this series you'll be very interested in talking about the Angels catching tandem as well as Jason Varitek and how they control their teams and the opponent's running game.
Yeah, it's not an accident. You look at the 8 postseason teams, there's always a pretty steady catcher behind the plate. And Napoli and Varitek, both guys that really handle the game well, take the game out of the pitcher's hands and just ask the pitcher to execute. Don't worry about theory. And Mike Scioscia's done a great job of molding major league catchers since he's been the manager of this Angel ball club.
Napoli had a sizzling September and fists one back to the screen. He had 24 hits last month, including 6 home runs.
Well, what he did was he just really stopped thinking about hitting home runs, and he started thinking about staying on the ball and hitting it in a direction toward right center. That allowed the ball to travel a little bit further. He could identify the pitch and then really kind of relax his hands and really threw the head through the hitting zone.
Lester humped up that time 93 miles an hour, and the count now 2 balls 2 strikes.
Remember how we talked about both Lackey and Lester getting into the flow of the game, and in this second inning it'll be very important to watch John Lester to see if the command of his pitches comes around more effectively.
He loaded the bases in the first, pitched out of trouble, and now strikes out Napoli. That's his first in tonight's ball game. Third member of our broadcast team tonight is with us. Craig Sager has more on John Lester. Hello, Craig.
Oh, hi, Chip, and thank you very much. With a series-clinching victory last fall, a no-hitter in May, and the opening assignment here tonight, John Lester is a cancer patient who is not only surviving, he is thriving. 2 years ago, the game he loves was taken away when he was diagnosed with lymphoma. Chemotherapy and radiation soon followed, and last year he was shuttled back and forth to 3 minor league affiliates as he recovered from treatment. His most recent exam was last August, and he said he was turned cancer-free. He told me yesterday he appreciates baseball more now than ever, and as he prepares for this postseason run, he is having the time of his life. Chip.
Thank you, Craig. It is a great and inspirational story. And John Lester getting bigger, getting stronger, the farther and farther he gets away from the ravages of the disease and the chemotherapy and the rest of the treatment. Little tapper in front of the plate. Varitek pounces, fires to first, and Matthews retired. Quickly 2 out.
Now, when you look back at the matchups early in the season, Lester pitched against the Angels, but he pitched against them early in the season on 3 days rest. First time he had done that in the season, and they boxed him around pretty good. But he is a totally different pitcher now than that pitcher they saw in April for a couple of different reasons. He is now pitching to the first base side of the plate. He's incorporated both sides of the plate, and he's gotten command of that outside corner with a 2-seam fastball, a 4-seam fastball, the cutter, and the changeup. He can throw all of his pitches to both sides of the plate.
Eric Ibar, the shortstop, shows bunt, and it's ruled foul. And just from an experience standpoint, it was all very new for John Lester last year. He's a veteran now. What difference does that make for him in this game 1 and the rest of this series for Boston?
According to his catcher, he's not quite a veteran yet. He's still got a lot of room to grow. He likes the progress he's made. Mid-season, Varitek said Lester's still learning. There's still a lot of teaching going on here, and I think that'll be the case with him into next year as well.
Lowell in at third with Ibarra. 9 bunt hits this season did Ibar, but now with 2 strikes he'll have to protect the plate.
Yeah, Eric Ibar is a pretty interesting guy. You can see he led the Angels with infield hits. 23 hits. He runs well. He's a tremendously athletic shortstop. Might have the best range at shortstop of any major league shortstop going laterally.
Broken bat ground ball to Lowell and on the grass. He's got it, and Lester has a very easy second inning in Anaheim. We have no score. We have no score as we head to the top half of our third inning, and Jed Lowry, the shortstop, will lead things off. John Lackey has retired 6 straight men after allowing a leadoff double to Jacoby Ellsbury to start the game. 0-2.
Command is coming around for both starters now as he went backdoor with that slider and caught the outside corner. 8 for 8 on first pitch strikes so far for John Lackey.
Ouch. That hit Lowry. An 0-2 pitch. A hit batsman puts him at first base in front of Jason Varitek.
That'll drive a pitcher crazy. You get ahead, bottom of the order guy, number 8 hitter in the lineup, and you let him off the hook when you hit him with a breaking ball.
So an easy call for Tim Welke, tonight's home plate umpire. Bill Miller, Kerwin Danley, and Rapuano along the infield. And the outfield umpires, Tim Sheeta in left, Marty Foster, the umpire down the right field line. So now the captain, Jason Varitek. Disappointing year average-wise for Varitek. Hit just .220 this season. 13 home runs, drove in 43 men. And Varitek pushes a bunt foul. So yes, an early run, the way both pitchers are twirling so far, is huge tonight.
Yeah, and this is a little bit of a departure for Terry Francona with Varitek. Varitek didn't have a sacrifice bunt all season long, and you can see DeMarlo Hale, the third base coach, going through the signs. They might be baiting Mike Scioscia, see if they can't get a fastball now and put the hit and run on. Change it up a bit.
Lowry measures off a short lead at first. How about this time, and it's rocketed off Lackey's body. He'll throw the second one. Hard slide by Lowry. No chance to try to turn 2.
Boy, what a good play by John Lackey, and training staff is going to come out and check with him, make sure he's okay. I don't know where that ball hit him, but he knocked it down. Second time in this game he's knocked the ball down back to the mound. He makes a heck of a play, recovering in time to get the lead runner at second. Eric Ibar really holding on to the baseball, making sure he maintained contact with the bag to get the force out.
Well, they check the pitcher. They don't check Ibar. He's the guy that got clobbered.
Exactly. I want him to check the pitcher. Ibar's going to be fine. Lackey, we talked about making 5 errors this season, second only to A.J. Burnett of the Blue Jays. Made 2 good defensive plays already in this game.
Well, here's Ellsbury. Boy, he really fooled me with his first inning at bat. That ball that shot toward the gap, when it left his bat, it looked like a pop-up. But then it found another gear and almost jumped out of the ballpark.
Well, he's got some pop, and he is going to get better and better. Hit 9 home runs during the regular season. And you remember he had a tremendous postseason last year as a late season call-up.
And he too has changed his batting style for this Boston club.
Yeah, he sure has. The league kind of exploited him early on. They were pounding him hard inside, and he had an exaggerated leg kick, and that foot was in the air. So they've taken away the leg kick and got him anchored.
High chopper up the middle. Glove flip for 1, but not in time for 2.
Tremendous improvement at second base for Howie Kendrick. He had a streak of 71 games and he committed just 1 error. Shows good patience right here as he knows he's only going to get 1. He flips it to Ibar, who's got a strong arm, but Ellsbury runs way too fast. But look at how easily and how deliberate he makes that backhanded toss right on the money to Ibar for the force out. And Ellsbury, he's not going to get doubled up on that ball.
So here's Pedroia. He too tapped back to the mound. That was a key at bat in this game. Again, you have Ellsbury at first. He's stolen 50 bases this year. That's the 3rd highest single season total in Red Sox history. Tommy Harper with 54 has the team record. He did that in 1973.
And he's got the green light.
And he's got a very short lead, as you see. And now time.
Yeah, that's the best way if you're unsure as a pitcher. Just hold the ball. Somebody's going to call timeout, and it was the batter, Pedroia.
Both these ball clubs want to force the issue offensively. Both teams had first inning scoring chances. Neither team has scored yet. And Pedroia takes the ball outside.
Just missed with that slider. Terry Francona giving his sign to DeMarlo Hale as we take a look at the latch pitch on the pitch tracks. It started on the plate and broke down and away out of the strike zone.
Ellsbury holds, now a pitch out. 2 balls and a strike.
This is something that's totally different with the Red Sox. Mike Scioscia said he's been managing in this league against Boston for 9 years, and they've got the best running team he's ever seen. So he's trying to guess with Terry Francona, and obviously with his catcher's background, this is right up his alley. He will pass the running game signals on to Mike Napoli. Napoli's shaking to get Lackey to shake his head, making the hitter think he's changing pitches. Some people think that when Scioscia calls signs to Mike Napoli that he's calling pitches. All he's doing right here is calling the running game. Throw over, step offs, slide steps, and pitch outs. Another slider.
Ellsbury doesn't go. Now it's a 3-1 count with Big Papi waiting on deck.
Okay, this is why we're going to see the running game come back into the major leagues now, because home run numbers are down. We're supposed to be through the steroid era. Athletes are going to come back into the game, and the steal is a distraction to the pitcher. Just the threat of the steal so far has been a distraction.
And now Pedroia takes a ball. So 2 on, 2 out for Big Papi.
Not what you want to see. The big man coming to the plate with 2 aboard.
And Ortiz 13 for 36, including postseason play against John Lackey, and 3 of those 13 hits have been home runs. Another chance for the Red Sox to score in the 3rd inning.
This is last year. John Lackey throws a big curveball to Big Papi, ALDS game 1, and he hits it deep into the seats in right field. Big looping curveball just out over the middle of the plate. Not a whole lot of break on it.
And the Angels have a modified shift on. You've got Kendrick playing in short right field. Ibar has to keep Ellsbury honest at second, but still a big gap up the middle of the field for Ortiz.
And obviously a very fast surface. This natural grass surface plays like artificial surface. It is that fast.
Did Ortiz check his swing? Yes. Angel bench can't believe that. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Mike Scioscia is going to let Eddie Rapuano know it. Take a look at the side angle. This is another curveball. Wow. If you hit that, that's a double off the wall.
So instead of an 0-2 count, it's 1-1 with 2 on, 2 out. No appeal on that pitch. 2 balls and a strike.
Scioscia wants it.
Well, they got it, and again he didn't swing.
Now, the one thing about David Ortiz is because of that wrist injury, he has told us he has to start his bat quicker. He can't trust his hands. He's not sure they're going to be there for him. So he wants to get the head out.
Popped up. Ibar at deep short. Inning over. Ortiz pops up. Red Sox strand 2 more in a scoreless game. Game 1. Well, there's one of our California adventures here in Anaheim. The other inside Angels Stadium, where we have no score after 2.5. And the top of the Angels order coming up for their second look at left-hander John Lester tonight. Sean Figgins rolled out to second. He's 0 for 1 tonight. Infield pinches in, and Lester pumps a fastball high for ball 1. We talked with John before tonight's start. He said he doesn't get into his groove until the 2nd or 3rd inning. We'll see if that's the case here tonight in game 1. And he's behind ball 2.
Yeah, he's still fighting it against Sean Figgins, and in my mind this is the guy that really makes everything happen for the Angels. He gets on board and changes the personality of this lineup.
There he shows bunt, took a strike.
And Figgins understands his role dramatically. There was a point in his career a couple of years ago where he thought he had to hit every good pitch he saw. Now he understands he only needs 1 good pitch, and he's going to make the pitcher throw more pitches and try to get a gauge on what he's featuring.
And he makes Lester work here. 3 balls and a strike. Red Sox don't want Figgins on in front of Anderson, Teixeira, and Guerrero. Full count.
Now you have to know as a pitcher where you are in the lineup. Obviously, leadoff batter hitting here in the bottom of the third inning, and you want to make him hit the ball to get on. Don't give him a free pass.
Lowell now backs up at third with a 3-2 count. Youkilis off the line at first. And a swing and a miss. Nasty pitch takes care of Figgins. Second strikeout for John Lester. Time to talk now, brought to you by Charles Schwab. Joining us is Mike Butcher, the pitching coach for the Angels. A two-seam fastball, a big addition for starter John Lackey.
Just really getting a good feel for it. You know, coming in this year, wanted to work on a two-seamer, sink the ball away. He constantly evolves his game every year, and it's just, he's just trying to do that, every year basically.
Mike, when a pitcher pitches to contact and economizes on his pitches, what's that do for his ability to stay in a game?
It just gives him a chance to get deeper in the game, gives him a chance to get a win, gives our team a better chance. He's done a great job this year, getting on average probably about 21 outs a game. So he's doing a nice job. We're playing great defense behind him, and we're just doing our thing.
Mike, John Lackey around the league has a reputation of being rattle-proof. It seems as though nothing bothers him, and he can pitch through tough jams. Is that what you want to see in your ace of the staff?
Oh, absolutely. I think he sets the tone for our whole staff. Big game pitcher. Going back to 2002, Game 7, as everybody always talks about him going out there as a rookie and pitching the game that he did. Our guys follow him, follow his lead. He goes out there and gets the job done. Definitely leads by example.
2 balls and a strike now to Garrett Anderson. He thought he checked his swing on a 2-0 pitch. And Anderson with a base hit in the first inning. Looks for a 2-2 start. And he's got it. Line drive the other way. So Lester back to the stretch. And here is Teixeira. He bounced a single into right field his first time up.
Anderson single to right his first time, takes that pitch away from him and just drives it into left field in front of Jason Bay. Bay plays it on 2 hops and gets it back to the infield, but Anderson's off to a good start in this game.
So Youkilis will hold him at first for Teixeira. Lester's first right through there, a strike. His velocity bucks slowly but surely starting to rise now in this third inning.
Yeah, easy 93, 94 right now, and he's still got more in reserve. But right now what he's trying to do is get his command, make quality pitches now as he gets through this meat of the order again for a second time.
Just missed. 1 ball, 1 strike, and how valuable again is a guy like Jason Varitek, who's been through so many of these postseason battles with a kid like Lester with enormous stuff, but still in the infancy of his postseason pitching career.
This is the 53rd postseason game for Varitek, and he's been through the wars before. He understands how to get kids through the game.
Back our way, and foul 1-2.
And the one thing about Varitek's experience behind the plate, when you're working with a young pitcher like John Lester, you don't want Lester to think theory at all. All you want him to think is execution. So he turns his game over to Jason Varitek. They've talked before the game. They've mapped out a game plan. And all he has to think about when he sees the sign to execute that particular pitch.
Liner into the second deck. That's a bullet. And it bounces back into the lower level. 1-2.
Okay, now as a catcher, you see that swing, and where do you go next? You stay hard. You don't want to soften up on him now to bring him back into fair territory. Stay hard, cutter inside, fastball upstairs, elevate the fastball, but don't throw him anything soft right now. You're beating him with the hard stuff. Threw him a curveball and had him way out in front, but it was so slow he couldn't keep it fair. And this is all about reading the bat for Jason Varitek. And believe me, he's got a computer mind back there, and he's ciphering all this information now and say, okay, we're starting to get the curveball where we want it. We've still got the cutter. Brad Mills calls the running game from the bench. He's Francona's bench coach. Look at Varitek checking out Teixeira. Computer's going, got the sign, ready to go. Curveball, back to back.
Did he go? He did. And boy, the check swings are certainly going the Red Sox way in this third inning, aren't they?
They sure are. That was a back-to-back curveball. Great call by Varitek, and watched the sheriff from the side. Got way out in front of home plate for the strikeout. Third strikeout for Lester. You can see Varitek goes to his knees and asks for the appeal all at the same time. No doubt who's in charge behind the plate.
And now Vladimir Guerrero with 2 outs. He popped the first pitch of tonight's game that he saw into shallow right. Guerrero 1 for his last 49 in postseason play. And only 1 RBI in those at bats. It's the corner.
It's not unusual for great players to struggle in the postseason. Having been through the postseason hitter meetings, you go through Vladdy Guerrero twice as long as you go through everybody else. Don't let Guerrero beat you. That's the theme of the meeting. Well, now he's got other weapons with him in Teixeira and Torrey Hunter.
But how do you pitch to this guy? He has a nose-to-toe strike zone.
You know what? Like Manny Sanguillen and Roberto Clemente, I used to think you throw it down the middle and make them decide where to hit it. If you can get them to hesitate for a moment, you might be able to beat them. But there is no pattern. There is no way to pitch him. If he can reach it, he can hit it hard.
1 ball, 1 strike. Guerrero 0 for 1. Anderson at first with 2 out. Now you talk about great players. Vladimir Guerrero and Lou Gehrig, the only 2 players with 11 consecutive years of a 300 or better batting average and 25 or more home runs.
And it took a great September to do that. He hit .412 in September. It looked like he wasn't going to hit 300.
But he got there hitting .303 and a shot up the middle. Gianni kicks it. Inning should be over. 2 are on with 2 out.
Now, when you play tight ball games against great clubs, mistakes can prove costly. That's just the 3rd error Jed Lowry has made since he's joined this Red Sox team. Very tentative as he goes after it. You can see he was very stiff-handed as he reached for it. It clanked in his glove and popped on the grass just behind the infield dirt. You can't give good teams extra outs. And this is a very good team. Won 100 games.
Angels loaded him up in the first. Didn't score. They have 2 on with 2 out in the 3rd in a scoreless game. And Torrey Hunter, the batter, he walked his first time up. Lester about to make his 50th pitch of the night.
Great pitch to start with. That first pitch curveball, and you can see Hunter was over anxious, anticipating a fastball. He walked in his first at bat, but because Varitek threw back-to-back curveballs to Mark Teixeira earlier in the inning, he was confident he could start Hunter with a good hook.
Straighten him up with a fastball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And that's his bread and butter pitch. He feels like he can throw a cut fastball inside with his eyes closed. And he might have to go right back there. Everybody in the league knows it, but it's so good and so well located that he can get away with it.
A hit, an error, and a couple of strikeouts for Lester. And now he's ahead of Torrey Hunter. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Part of that new look middle of the order for the Angels, with Teixeira and Hunter sandwiching Vladimir Guerrero in the middle in the number 4 spot.
John Lester just called Jason Varitek out to the mound. Obviously a very important pitch in this ball game. 1-2 count. And he wants to talk to Varitek about this next pitch. he suggested a pitch to Varitek, kind of checking with the professor if it's okay to throw this pitch, and he nodded, yeah, go ahead. And Lester told us that if he has an idea, in his words, he said, I can change the pitch and shake off a pitch without Tech getting mad.
Don't want to make the captain mad, that's for sure. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that one hammered into the Angels dugout.
Well, and now Tech's going to go out and talk it over after seeing that last pitch. But okay, now we got the cut fastball set up. Watch this reaction in the dugout. Ron Renicky, the bench coach, getting out of harm's way, and this is hooked right over toward that dugout. You don't expect balls to come in there from a right-handed hitter.
Fly ball left field. Bay coming on. Can't get there. Anderson around third. Scores and the Angels lead.
Garrett Anderson 2 for 2 scores the first run of the series. Torrey Hunter gets jammed on his cut fastball. It's way inside, but it's not hit hard enough to carry all the way to Jason Bay. Bay comes hard, has to play it on the hop, and he's got no play on Garrett Anderson, who was off and running with 2 outs.
So the Lowry error allows Hunter to hit and drive in the first run of the series and in tonight's game. Here's Kendrick. He tapped out to third to end the first. 1-0 Angels in front.
Give him the extra opportunity of kicking the door.
Lowry made just 2 errors in the regular season, but one big one here in the third, and another tapper toward third. Lowell, the long toss across in time, and that retires the side. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 very big error, and the Angels lead it after 3. 1-0 Angels as we head to the 4th inning. Kevin Youkilis is up for the Red Sox, and Buck, he's thinking long ball, and he's done that a lot to John Lackey.
2007 Game 1 of the Division Series. July 18th this year, another home run inside fastball in this ballpark. And then July 29th back at Fenway, another inside hitter. 3 home runs in their head-to-head matchup for Youkilis. With that, Lackey starting to pitch him away. He hits all 3 home runs on inside fastballs.
And at the first pitch that Lackey has not thrown for strike 1 in this game. A line drive for Youkilis into left field, and a leadoff single has him aboard, representing the potential tying run.
When you see somebody well, I don't care how good he is, for some reason Kevin Youkilis sees the ball well out of John Lackey's hands, and that time he didn't hit it out of the ballpark, but he starts the inning with a solid single to left.
And that brings up J.D. Drew, who grounded out his first time up. Buck, you mentioned his splendid numbers in the month of June with 12 home runs and that .337 batting average. And J.D. pops one up down the left field line. Long run for Anderson. He's there. He's got it. Drew pops out. Youkilis thought about tagging, but retires to first. Terry Francona said J.D. Drew saved our season. With Ortiz out.
Yeah, he carried the team offensively, and he was as hot as anybody in baseball during that month. Hit 12 home runs and just picked them up offensively when everybody else was scuffling and Ortiz was on the shelf.
That brings up Jason Bay, who struck out his first time up. One ball, no strikes. Didn't take Boston fans to fall in love with Jason Bay after he was acquired in the big Manny Ramirez trade. That's over the outside corner to even things up. And a ball and a strike.
Jason Bay is quite a professional player. He really fits in along the lines of Mike Lowell and Jason Varitek and Jacoby Ellsbury and Dustin Pedroia. Just one of those professional baseball players.
Standing ovation on August 1st before his first at bat. He tripled, scored the winning run, made a great catch in his debut against the Oakland A's. And it got better on August 2nd. As that one swung on and missed. Bay retired, 2 outs after a leadoff hit.
Now this is the first time Jason Bay has faced John Lackey, and he's gone down swinging at 2 curveballs. Well out of the strike zone, and if you've not faced a guy before and you haven't seen the spin on his breaking ball, it's difficult to detect. You see him out there pounding those 2-seam fastballs, and you think you're going to get one of those. You start your swing and you get fooled by the curveball.
Here's Mike Lowell. He lined to left his first time, and from what you've seen, how much discomfort is apparent in Mike Lowell tonight with that bad right hip?
I haven't seen much indication of him dealing with pain. When you see it, I mean, it's very evident, and it happened to him down in Tampa Bay against the Rays, fielding a ball, and that's the problem right there when he checks his swing. But in Tampa Bay, he came in on a swinging tapper 16th of September and had to plant on that right hip, and that's what really causes him pain. You can see him limping back to his position, and from that point on, it was hit or miss whether he could play or not.
Into the seats, foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the big crowd in Anaheim will roar as Lackey tries to finish off the 4th.
Mike Lowell has a torn labrum in his hip, and you hear torn labrums in shoulders all the time. Well, you think about it, it's the same kind of ball and socket joint in your hip that you have in your shoulder. And the labrum is a muscle that keeps that ball inside that socket, keeps it stable. Well, he's injured that. He's got arthritis developing, and he needs to have that repaired, and that's something that's going to have to be surgically repaired in the off season.
Good stop, Napoli.
Good job by Mike Napoli as he squared up on that ball. When you call a breaking ball like that as a catcher, you're thinking, okay, if I'm going to get beat, it's going to be to my right. And he's going to lighten up on that right foot so he can move quickly to his right, squares up on it, smothers it with his glove, and pops to his feet to check Youkilis at first.
Swing and a miss. 3rd strikeout for Lackey. He strands Youkilis and has a 1-0 lead. Well, Buck, game 1 in the 2008 division series for the Angels, already a lot better than last year's game 1 matchup. That's when Josh Beckett and the Red Sox shut out the Angels 4-0 on only 4 hits. Tonight the Angels got a gift run, took advantage of that, and send the lower 3rd up in this 4th inning, up 1-0. Napoli, Matthews, and Ibar coming up against John Lester.
And it's interesting, that error by Jed Lowry caused John Lester to give up an unearned run, just the 4th unearned run he's allowed all season.
You talked earlier about how quick and how fast this infield is in Anaheim. And the Red Sox the final weekend were stuck at home against the Yankees at Fenway Park. It was cold, it was wet, the grass there much thicker. Did that have any effect at all on that play for Lowry, you think?
Yes, possibly. And then Lowry has played on this surface before. He made a trip earlier in the season to Anaheim and played on this surface. Louis Alicea, the first base coach and infield coach, kept telling Jed, you got to back up, you got to back up. This infield is too quick. And he's finally understood. Alicea there has a real good feel for this ballpark, and he says you got to play it like it's artificial surface.
And look at where Pedroia and Lowry are playing. They're on the cut of the outfield grass at 2nd and short respectively, and now it's a 2-2 count to Napoli.
Well, there's a couple of things that factor in here on the left side of the diamond. The ball is quick. You can see where both Pedroia and Lowry are. They're right on the edge of the dirt because the ball gets to you. And then you've got these big, strong hitters that hit it hard, and it's going to be really exaggerated on this hard surface.
There's a chopper hit toward short. Lowry in and out. And there's your first out. It's time to talk again. Brought to you by Charles Schwab. Joining us is Terry Francona, the Red Sox manager. We asked him to evaluate the health of his club after 3.5 innings tonight.
Well, Mikey Lowell hit that first ball real well, and JD's not complaining about his back. Health-wise, I think we're okay. We just we got to get Lackey, get that ball up a little bit, lay off that breaking ball.
Your pitcher, John Lester, got through a tough spot in the first inning. Does he get better as the game goes on generally?
as he gets in the feel of the game, he certainly has the ability to get stronger and use all his pitches, I think, as a lot of good pitchers do. We got in a situation there, we gave him an extra out, and they took advantage of it.
Well, obviously, good teams take advantage of miscues, and you had a tough error on a guy that hasn't made many errors for you, Jed Lowry at shortstop.
He's been good for us, and he will continue to be. He missed the ball. They took advantage of it. Now, again, keep playing the game. Lester made a pitch after that to pick him up, so now, again, one run, if that's the difference, we need it to not be the difference.
And in fact, tonight Lester has just one out in the air. That was the pop out by Vladimir Guerrero in the first inning. He has struck out 3 men, and so far it is that E6 that has allowed the Angels to jump in front. There's another chance at short. Lowry backhand toss. 2 out.
Well, there's nothing better to get your confidence back than have a couple of balls hit to your right away, and that's what's happened to Lowry in this inning. He's been tested twice, made 2 good plays, and once again that air is getting further and further back in his memory.
So 2 outs, base is clear. Eric Ibar, the shortstop, he rolled out to Mike Lowell. That ended the second. 1-0. Angels lead in game 1. Again, the infield pinches in at the corners, thinking about an Ibar bunt. He showed it, but took a strike.
Boy, both Lowell and Euclid, even at first base, crashing hard, taking away the bunt possibility of Ibar with 2 outs. You can see how far Lowell is to begin with, and he'll creep in even further, and Euclid is the same.
And him reaching, now it's an 0-2 count.
Well, you can see Lester is really confident in that curveball now. We haven't seen his great cutter more than a couple of times, and I think he's thrown 2 changeups to this point. The cutter and the changeup are going to be incorporated here as the game develops.
Pretty good postseason for the Ibar family. His brother Willie plays for the Tampa Bay Rays. And a broken bat chopper. Lowell at third. Handles. Low throw. Handled by Euclid. And again, Lester piling up the ground ball outs, but he needs some help with the sticks. He's down a run. What a year indeed for the Angels. Their first 100-win campaign in franchise history. Another Western Division championship in the American League. And as they said when they acquired Mark Teixeira, it's World Series or bust. They lead tonight by a run as Jed Lowry pops one up into right. That should be handled by Gary Matthews. Lackey tonight has surrendered just 2 hits. He's struck out 3. He's hit a batter. He's walked 1 and now faces Jason Varitek. Varitek bounced into a force play. That slick move up the middle. Howie Kendrick flipped to Ibar at the second base bag. But the Red Sox tonight 0 for 9 in this game at the plate with runners on base. They got a leadoff double in the first inning with Jacoby Ellsbury. Couldn't bring him home. They had a couple of men on in the third inning. Ellsbury and Pedroia. Ortiz popped up to short to end that threat. Kevin Euclid led off the fourth with a solid single. He was left stranded. And now Varitek with an 0-2 count.
Well, I tell you what, John Lackey and Mike Napoli are doing a good job of changing their pattern and approach to the Red Sox lineup here as they're at the bottom of the order, second time through the lineup. He's used the curveball twice. He's going to use it again right here, and he wants it bounced.
Swing and a drive hit to right. Matthews going back at the edge of the warning track has it. Varitek just missed. And 2 men are out. Josh Beckett unable to go in game 1 for the Red Sox tonight. For more on that, here's Craig Sager.
Well, thanks, Chip. A few moments ago, Terry Francona did address 2 of the question marks. Said Mike Lau is seeing the ball very well, and Jay Drew isn't comparing or complaining about his back. As for Beckett, we saw him today before the game go into a long toss. That meant he played catch from 150 feet out for 10 to 15 minutes. Told me afterwards he did not feel any further discomfort. But his major test will come tomorrow when he has a side session.
Ellsbury beats out a bunt with 2 outs. There again is that fielding issue you mentioned with John Lackey. Tough play, couldn't make it, and that's an infield hit for Ellsbury. He is 2 for 3 and represents the tying run.
Yeah, this is a do-or-die play for Lackey. He knows he's got to barehand it and throw it all in one motion. It's the 11th bunt hit for Ellsbury. He had 10 in the regular season, and Lackey is just a tough play. I don't care who you are, it's a tough play to make right there. Too much speed in a well-placed bunt. You got to slow him down now. 50 steals in 61 attempts for Ellsbury.
And he likes to go on the first pitch.
Now, the first time he didn't have a very good lead. I don't know that he's that comfortable yet with Lackey, and just as far as what kind of move he's going to see. Going to throw over there first.
And that's outside to Pedroia. Well, you talk about a guy that maybe the personality of his ball club, Dustin Pedroia, is that. How many times when we saw the Red Sox this summer, they talked about Caballito, the little pony, Dustin Pedroia. He'd love to drive home Ellsbury here and at least tie this game. There he goes.
No chance.
Breaking ball. Throw to second. Way late. And Ellsbury swipes his first bag of the series and is in scoring position now with a 1-1 count.
Well, not much Mike Napoli could do about that. They were able to call breaking ball after they fell behind, and Ellsbury gets a great jump at first base. Napoli, pretty good job of unloading in a hurry, but he didn't have a shot. You can see the ball well late as Ellsbury slides past Howie Kendrick and moves into scoring position.
Let's see if Pedroia can provide a 2-out hit. Fly ball, right field. Matthews, good jump. He handles 3 chances in right flawlessly, and the Red Sox strand another in the top of the 5th. And the top of the order coming up in the bottom half of this 5th inning. That's Figgins, that's Anderson, that's Mark Teixeira. John Lester has been at times dominant. He has struck out 3 men. He's walked 1. He's allowed only 1 flyout in the game. Everything else has been on the ground. But a Jed Lowry error in the 3rd inning, the difference in the game for it allowed Torrey Hunter to hit and drive in the game's only run. Figgins tonight 0 for 2. And that one shot down the right field line and out of play, foul. Figgins missed some time with an elbow problem. He was hit by Carl Pavano of the Yankees, and they were concerned about that. Figgins played 116 games this year and hit .276. Line to short.
That was a good example of Lester making up his mind. He wanted to throw the curveball. You can see he's not pleased with the location. The ball was hit hard. But Veritek wanted to cut her in. Then he called for the sinker away, and Lester shook to the curveball, and he almost cost himself a hit. That was a sharply hit ball, but right at the shortstop.
Well, how do you pitch to Anderson now? He has a hit to left. He has a hit to right. He's 2 for 2.
I think you try to make him hit the curveball because he's been able to fight off the fastball both inside and outside. Good fastball inside. That's a 2-seam fastball that's pretty effective against left-handed hitters. Most of the left-handed hitters in the major leagues now are very strong on the outer 3/4 of the plate. They are diving to protect against the breaking ball and that fastball away using the whole field. So if you can run that fastball down and in on their hands or up about belt high, you can be effective. Tried it again, got the same results. So now you've sped up his bat. So now he's consciously trying to protect that inside part of the plate, and he becomes vulnerable to a curveball down and away, a cut fastball down and away, or you can elevate the fastball up out over the plate and hopefully get him to lift a lazy fly ball to left. But he's got the inside part of the plate on his mind right now.
And he also has a 2-strike count on his mind with Lester, and the base is empty. There's that breaking ball. Bounce to Euclid. Lester does his job. Good sequence, good result. 2 men are out in the 5th inning. Boys and Girls Clubs of America is the official charity of Major League Baseball, reaching more than 4 million kids worldwide. Together they create a positive place for kids. Here's Teixeira. He's 1 for 2. Fans may not know this, but Teixeira was originally drafted by the Red Sox.
He sure was. A 9th-round pick, if you can believe that, as talented as he was. It's kind of interesting. I asked him, I said, why were you a 9th-round pick out of high school? He said, well, they said I wasn't going to sign, and I dropped. I said, who said you weren't going to sign? I said the Red Sox.
Oh, okay. 1-0 pitch to him.
Mark said that coming out of high school, they kind of spread the word that he wasn't going to sign, and he was going to go to college, and he dropped in the draft rate. He thought he was going to be a 10 to 15 pick in the country. He was that talented. When he dropped so far, he really got discouraged, and then found out about the Red Sox. He said, I'm going to college. Went to Georgia Tech and became an All-American, and everything worked out just fine for him.
And Teixeira, free agent to be at season's end. That's one of the big looming questions for the Angels. Will they keep him? Fly ball to left. And that'll drop in. Teixeira's 2 for 3. So he keeps the frame alive for Vladimir Guerrero, who reached on that critical Lowry error 2 innings ago.
Take a look at the location of this pitch, a cutter, and you can see where it was off the plate about 6 inches inside. Teixeira opened up and just muscled it into left field.
So it's 1 RBI in his last 50 at bats now for Vladimir Guerrero. A 2-out chance. And that stat covers postseason play for the Angels DH. And a ground ball right side and through. His first hit of the night and of the series, and 2-out magic for the Angels now in the 5th.
Boy, how many times have we seen this tonight? 2, 3, 4, and 5 have created problems for John Lester. I mean, look at where that pitch is. 6 inches low, 6 inches off the plate outside, and he can get to it and drive it into right field. A 2-out base hit to move Teixeira up. We had talked about the meat of the order having an impact. Teixeira's been on base twice. Guerrero's been on base twice. Torrey Hunter's been on base twice. 4 for 7 tonight, and they have the only RBI in the game.
And Torrey Hunter's the man that has that RBI. A single that dropped in front of Jason Bay in left. Tapper back to the mound. Lester is out of 5th inning trouble. 2 hits, 2 left, and we are through 5. A terrific pitcher's duel in Game 1 in Anaheim. We have completed 5 in our first game of this American League Division Series matchup between the Red Sox and the Angels. And Big Papi pops the first pitch up. Ibar in the shift moves behind the second base bag for out number 1.
Now, Big Papi is struggling right now as he is just not sitting back waiting on the pitch. He's getting that bat going, and he pops it up immediately, and you can see the frustration as he throws his bat aside. Got a pretty good pitch to hit, but it wasn't quite the one he wanted, and he's just really a little bit anxious trying to get that bat through the zone.
Kevin Euclid has 1 of the 3 Boston hits tonight, and as each out piles up in these middle innings, Buck, it plays right into the hands of the Angels because they know with their bullpen, the way it's stacked up, they can make it a 6-inning game offensively and make it stand up. And that was one of the thought processes for Mike Scioscia in spreading out this first round series with the day off in between games 1 and 2.
We talked to Mike Butcher earlier in the game about John Lackey, and he said he averages 21 outs per game, and that's pretty good. Gets you in the 7th inning, obviously, and Butcher knows if you can do that, then you really shorten the ball game.
And with K-Rod and Shields and Arredondo down there in that Angels bullpen, you do not want to be trailing after 7.
Well, you can see Lackey is keeping the ball away from Kevin Youkilis because Youkilis has 3 long balls off of him all inside. Another pitch away. 1-run game, keep the ball away. Don't let a good hitter hit you out of the ballpark late in the game on the inner half of the plate. If he's going to take you deep, make him take you deep the opposite field.
Good hitters count, 3-1. And he walked him. Lackey missed outside consistently to Youkilis, who's aboard the second time. And now the ever dangerous J.D. Drew is up, but 0 for 2 tonight.
Well, and J.D. Drew, he has been late here both times up. He had a ground ball to the second baseman after fouling the ball down the left field line, and then popped up down the left field line in foul territory. So his timing obviously a bit off.
Popped up. Left side, slicing over the Angels dugout foul.
That's the one thing you can see. He too got a pretty good pitch to hit right there, and John Lackey's beating him upstairs with it right now. When you have missed time, it's more difficult to get on the high pitch than it is the low pitch. You can drop the head on the ball down in the zone, but you can't get on top of it because you don't have that keen timing.
Tony La Russa once told me of J.D. Drew, he has Mickey Mantle-like power. A long ball here could turn this game around in the 6th inning for the Red Sox. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, and J.D. Drew is so good and so quiet at the plate when he is in a groove. I mean, there's not much movement at all. He just taps the bat to his back shoulder and everything stays quiet. No head movement at all.
Squib foul at third, 1-2 now.
And just still a little bit late. His timing is off ever so slightly, understandably so. He's only had 4 at-bats in about 6 weeks.
4 at-bats since August 17th, coming into postseason play. 0 for 2 tonight.
I had 4 6 weeks, but I was active.
And with good reason, right? 1-2 count. And so let me ask you this. Calculated risk by Terry Francona playing J.D. Drew after so little time in September when he had options like Mark Kotsay, for example, to play the outfield?
Well, and Terry knows his team, knows his players very well. Kotsay has been a good role player since he's come over here. But J.D. Drew can do dramatic things.
But not this time. He strikes out. 4 strikeouts for John Lackey. He's dealing at home tonight.
3 of the strikeouts have been on the curveball, and this was a changeup. It looked like something a little bit off speed, maybe another 2-seam fastball away, but Drew got a piece of it. Looks back quickly to see if Napoli had hung on.
4 strikeouts for Lackey, 2 of them to Jason Bay, who's up for the 3rd time now.
That's the one he wanted to hit. He swung at that curveball off the plate to strike out in his first 2 at-bats, and he got one right down the middle.
Swing and a high fly ball hammered deep left. Anderson back, track, wall, and the Red Sox are in front. Manny who?
Long balls have been a problem this year for John Lackey. We talked about the ball jumping tonight, and that ball jumped. Watch the target. Look at the target down and away, and then look where the pitch is. Up, out over the plate, and he had missed miserably on 2 curveballs, but he didn't miss that heater. Up out over the plate, and he turns on it, hits it beyond the bullpens in left.
So the Red Sox indeed turn it around with a long home run, not from J.D. Drew, but from Jason Bay, and lead 2-1 in the 6th. That one, diving stop to Shera, terrific play to rob Mike Lowell, and the side is retired. A walk, and then a 2-run homer turns it around for the Sox. They lead it 2-1 now. Howie Kendrick leads things off for the Angels, and this crowd in Anaheim now nervously on the edge of their seats as the Red Sox have taken a 2-1 lead. John Lester tonight has scattered 6 hits. 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th. And now the bullpen strategy shifts to Boston's favor now with the lead in the late middle innings.
And that was Papelbon loosening up, getting his blood flowing a little bit. Well, what a game. Well pitched game. Both guys. One mistake on the field defensively. One mistake by not hitting the spots from John Lackey and a long ball.
Out of play foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Lackey gave up 26 home runs in 24 starts this year. That was the most he had allowed since 2003.
But you mentioned some of that by design as he pitches more to contact now. And boy, did Bay make plenty of contact in this, his first postseason game. First postseason game for the Red Sox without Manny Ramirez, and wouldn't you know it, it's the new left fielder that turns the game around with one swing.
Now, the last time he played a big playoff game in the postseason was for Trail BC at the Little League World Series.
And Manny today hit a home run for the Dodgers as they shocked the Cubs in Game 1 at Wrigley Field in Chicago.
Ryan Dempster was flirting with danger all afternoon when he kept walking Dodger hitters, and finally James Loney caught up to a pitch and hit a grand slam.
Swing and a miss. That takes care of Kendrick. 1 up, 1 down in the 6th. Buck, let's check out our Travelers mid-game recap. A terrific pitchers duel in Game 1 tonight.
Both John Lackey and John Lester have been involved, and here the air off the bat of Vladdy Guerrero by Jed Lowry. He'd only committed 2 errors in the regular season, and right after that, naturally, Torrey Hunter cashes it in. First run of the ball game when Garrett Anderson comes in to score, but Jason Bay picks up the shortstop with a 2-run home run after striking out in his first 2 bats. He goes deep to put the Red Sox up 2-1.
Mike Napoli 0 for 2 in tonight's game. Bases clear for him, and I gotta ask you, how important is this Game 1 for both the Angels and the Red Sox? Angels won 8 of 9 in the regular season head-to-head with Boston, but have dropped 9 straight head-to-head in postseason play to Boston.
Yeah, Game 1 is important because Game 1 really puts the momentum in your favor if you win that game. Winners of Game 1 in the ALDS, 12 and 20 and 14 in the series. It's really interesting in the American League, it hasn't proven to be as effective, but in the National League, winners of Game 1 have gone 23 and 3 in 19 series. It's remarkable how it's really played to the National League's favor, but hasn't panned out for the American League Division Series.
2 balls and a strike. Does that stat for the American League surprise you?
Yeah, it does, and I guess it just reflects the fact that there are such deep offensive teams in the American League. They can overcome early deficits. But think about the momentum swing in this series. If Boston can split the first 2 games here in Anaheim and then have Josh Beckett pitching Game 3 at Fenway.
That would be huge for the Red Sox. As you heard Craig Sager report earlier, Beckett felt no discomfort today as he tries to get ready for a potential Game 3 back in Boston. Full count. And Napoli down on strikes. 5 of them for Lester. You heard Dennis Eckersley again say all day today on TBS that right now John Lester is the best Boston pitcher. He may be showing it tonight in game 1.
No question about it. And he gets the curveball deep into the mix now as he bounces that curveball with 2 strikes. In September, Lester had a 2.14 ERA, second lowest in the American League to A.J. Burnett. 28-8 for his career, and that includes the postseason.
And he will try to strike out the side with Gary Matthews up. Matthews 0 for 2 in tonight's game. And against Lester coming into play tonight, 3 for 6 with a couple of home runs. And Mike Scioscia giving Matthews the start in right field because of that productivity, but also because he wants to protect the knees of Vladimir Guerrero and let him swing the bat. So Vladdy will DH ostensibly the entire series?
Yeah, and that's exactly what he told us, that he would like to have Vladdy Guerrero stay out of the outfield during this series. Obviously, things are subject to change in a 5-game series. If you need to get another bat in the lineup, maybe insert Juan Rivera. Who knows what the combinations will be as this game and this series continue to develop.
A ball and a strike to Matthews. And he's straightened up inside.
Both of these clubs have the ultimate respect for their opponents, and they understand the momentum's going to swing back and forth dramatically. Lots of good starting pitching in this series.
And more on Friday night. There's a good breaking ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now that's the different pitch for Lester right there that the Angels haven't seen before. He didn't start using the outer half of the plate until May. And when Mike Scioscia's club saw him, he pitched in late April. And he pitched to the inside part of the plate. Now he can go to both sides of the plate. Curveball is starting to pick up some speed. Late break on that curveball, and that's a tough pitch to lay off of.
He's at 98 pitches with 2 outs in the bags, clearing the 6th, and a 1-run lead. An amazing year for John Lester. Went 11-1 at Fenway Park in 17 starts. Threw a no-hitter this year against the Royals in mid-May, May 19th to be exact. And a 16-win regular season, trying to steal game 1 on the road tonight. And he just struck out the side. 6 strikeouts for Lester. We go to the 7th inning. The Red Sox lead it by a run. And will they be talking about an Angels or a Red Sox win after game 1 in Anaheim tonight? Buck Martinez, Craig Sager, Chip Carey. We now head to the 7th inning in Anaheim. It'll be Lowry, Varitek, and Ellsbury coming up against John Lackey, who served up that Jason Bay go-ahead home run. Lowry 0 for 1 tonight. He too getting his first taste of postseason. And looks high. Ball 1.
Well, Mike Napoli's done a nice job, and just like Varitek has done for John Lester, Napoli has really called a great game and kept his pitcher very effective. And there he gets the curveball for the strikeout.
5th strikeout. Takes care of Lowry. He argues momentarily, then with a wry smile heads back to the Boston dugout.
Boy, check swings have been an issue here tonight, and that looked like he clearly checked his swing. The home plate umpire. A lot of things going on. You can see the catcher blocking the ball, got in front of Tim Wilkie a bit. Ted Lowry can't believe that he's called out for a swing right there.
Well, you're a former manager. They all even out, right?
No.
Oh, no. Oh, okay.
They still don't.
Oh, I got you. But you're not bitter about it. Here's Varitek. No. He rolls to short. Ibar with a catch and run. Plenty of time. 2 outs, top of the order now. Ellsbury, who's had a productive night. He's 2 for 3, a double, a single, a steal. That single, a bunt hit back in the 5th inning. But he's been stranded 3 separate times tonight.
See Mike Butcher on the phone to the Angels bullpen. A lot of scurrying, a lot of moving around, but it looked more like just get ready. And Darren Oliver grabbed his glove. Looks like he's going to start loosening up a bit. And there's Scott Shields coming around, so he might be getting loose as well.
And the Red Sox pen is busy too, with Hideki Okajima up and throwing as Lester right around the 100 pitch mark after 6 innings tonight.
And it is a hot, muggy night tonight, and that will take the energy out of your legs for sure.
Line drive right field. Matthews charges in and misplayed it. Ellsbury's gonna fly. He's around second. He's on his way to third. Matthews misplayed that one badly in right, and the Red Sox have a man at third with 2 out.
Well, I'll tell you what, he had a beat on it, and then it got right in the bank of lights high above the Angels dugout. I mean, this is one of the best fielders in the outfield, and he saw it on the line. Watch how quickly he goes to the ball. He sees it right here, and then all of a sudden he loses it. Not really sure where it is. Ball took off on him, but I think it got up into the bank of lights. You could see him kind of protecting his eyes as he was shying away from him. And there, the bank of lights that you see above that dugout on the third base foul line. He is charged with an error. That's a pretty tough error. But they're going to give the bullpen a little bit of time as Mike Butcher comes out here. Give John Lackey a little bit of a breather, an error on the right fielder. And that is a tough error. I mean, it looked like to me clearly he lost it into lights. Take a look at his reaction as he's got a beat on it right there and then just kind of reaches up for it. And you can see how he turned his head away as if he was looking into the headlights of a car. Obviously not the best thing to happen to the Angels at this point, because with 2 outs you've got a tough hitter at the plate with a runner at third base and a chance to expand the Red Sox lead.
And you know, Pedroia is thinking about not getting Ellsbury to third in the 1st inning. That may have cost Boston its first run in tonight's game. He's walked, and he too is lined out to right. So Pedroia 0 for 2, but a chance to give the Red Sox a 2-run cushion in the 7th. And a strike evens the count.
Pedroia is a very good up hitter. He likes the ball up. He can hit it high. He can hit it neck high. He can get on anybody's fastball. I think to be most effective against him, you have to throw off-speed pitches down and away, spot the fastball down and away, and that's the best approach.
Ozzie Guillen, the skipper of the White Sox, had one of the best descriptions of a major league player when he talked about Pedroia being a little jockey.
Guillen gave him an intentional walk in that series at Fenway. Pedroia was wearing him out. At one point he had 9 straight hits.
Had 213 hits on the year, scored 118 runs, drove in 83. Second highest average in the American League, maybe the MVP. And ahead in the count with a runner at third in the 7th.
Interesting how carefully they're pitching Pedroia, considering David Ortiz is standing on deck. But it shows you the respect Pedroia has around the league. A 3-1 breaking ball with David Ortiz, and that's why Darren Oliver's up. He's going to call upon the left-hander, and they knew they had him. If you walk Pedroia, we've got Oliver for David Ortiz, and that's to the end of the night.
So 1st and 3rd with 2 outs. Red Sox in front by a 2-1 score. It's Oliver versus Ortiz, and a big cheer for John Lackey. He made one mistake, and the Red Sox have made him pay. Here we are, 7th inning in Anaheim. 1st and 3rd are the Red Sox, and a lefty-lefty matchup. Oliver and Ortiz and a frustrated John Lackey tonight.
Now, you would be frustrated when you come out of a game and you have 2 outs and errors committed, and this is all about intensity of this situation. Now, he's not taking it out on anybody. It's just the frustration. You get pitched 1 every 5 days in the regular season, and you like to be out there with the game on the line. Darren Oliver, the veteran, 54 appearances during the regular season. He's been a very valuable part of this lineup, the only left-hander they have down there. 7-1 on the season, very good ERA at 2.88.
David Ortiz would love to come up with a 2-out hit in the 7th inning. He has hits in his last 11 league division series games played, but tonight he's 0 for 3. And that's a big run 90 feet away in a 1-run game. And he had a wicked cut. Strike 1 to Big Papi.
Best swing of the night. He got the fastball out over the plate, and he turned that bat loose and just fouled it back to the screen, but he didn't show any signs of being concerned about the wrist on that swing.
Oliver 18 for 32 in stranding inherited runners in the regular season. Jumps out quickly here, however. No balls and 2 strikes.
I think if you're going to be most effective against David Ortiz, you've got to go back and forth on velocity, because he's not able to really time his swings or stay back and be quick. So you would expect that Oliver might throw another breaking ball here, possibly even in the dirt. This is where you really got to trust your catcher to block it.
Great speed at third. 0-2 pitch.
A cutter that just sailed out of the zone.
The Red Sox somehow, some way, finding a way to lead in this game. They have 1 hit with a man on base tonight, but that hit was a Jason Bay 2-run homer. There's that play you were talking about, partner. Napoli blocked it.
Yeah, you've got to call that pitch, and the pitcher has to have the confidence that he can bounce it and it won't get away from the catcher. You call for it, you exaggerate the target, making sure that Oliver can focus on it, and then you go down to a knee and block the 5-hole.
Ortiz has battled back to 2-2. Now a full count, and Pedroia now will have the advantage of moving on a 3-2 pitch.
The bullpen, they've got Scott Shields ready for Euclid, so if I'm Darren Oliver, I throw him another breaking ball. Don't let David Ortiz hit a fastball here.
There goes Pedroia. There goes the breaking ball. There goes Boston in the 7th. Oliver shuts the door.
Well, this is the first meeting between these 2 teams since Manny Ramirez forced that trade hours before the July 31st trading deadline. He said he didn't want to be in Boston, and they didn't deserve him. Now, Manny Ramirez did spark the Los Angeles Dodgers to National League Western Division title. There are many who feel that the Boston Red Sox are a better team as well. The addition of Jason Bay in that 3-team trade, we talked to Captain Jason Varitek. He said, we added a great player and a great teammate. And Dustin Pedroia said, we now have 25 guys all going in the right direction. They said they can't replace Manny Ramirez's bat in the lineup. And Justin Bay is doing the best he can tonight. Yep.
Well, you're right about that, Craig. Manny who is what I said after he hit it out of the park. And if they hang on, I think the Red Sox will be very happy with the way Jason Bay has debuted in his postseason start for the Red Sox tonight.
Yeah. Throughout his career, he was home by now. This is his first chance to play in the postseason, and he's made the most of it.
So John Lester, right at 100 pitches, takes it into the 7th inning. He just struck out the last 3 Angel hitters he saw. He starts with Ibar, then Figgins, then Anderson in the 7th. And Lester, an unearned run. That's it. In place of Josh Beckett, who was injured and couldn't start game 1.
I love Terry Francona sending Lester right back out there. He's your starting pitcher. He's supposed to take charge here. He's got a lead late in the game, and he's a horse.
Terry's wearing out that gum, though, man. It's getting late. Here's Ibar. He's rolled out to Mike Lowell twice. And the Red Sox have to worry about a bunt. And speed all up and down this Angel attack as Ibar takes a ball. 1-0 the count. He had 23 infield hits, 9 bunt hits in the regular season.
Lester's done a good job of keeping Ibar and Figgins off the base paths. They are over 5 to this point. They're the igniters. They're the ones that serve as a distraction once they get on base.
What did you say early in tonight's game? With 2 on and 1 out, Guerrero popped up. Hunter walked to load the bases in the first. Kendrick rolled into a force play. They didn't score in that first inning. And what did Lester do? Settled in and has pitched brilliantly.
Yeah, you let the good ones off the hook early and you're liable to be looking at an L. He had a chance to get to him early and they didn't cash in.
He nearly hit Ibar. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Angels have not been able to put a leadoff man in any inning so far in tonight's game. Lester will try to continue that here in the 7th. Popped him up. Pedroia drifts back. It's 7 straight leadoff men retired by Lester. 1 away. He's retired 5 in a row.
First pitches of at bats, first out of innings are certainly huge because then you don't pitch out of the stretch and you really allow yourself to be aggressive. That leadoff batter certainly changes the complexion of an inning.
There you see the box score for the Angels. The middle of the order has been very productive. The top and the bottom have not been. Figgins 0 for 3, hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield tonight. And if the table setters aren't on, it's a different looking Angel attack. Joey Hunter has the only Angel run batted in. A ball, 1 strike.
Boy, Lester's still got a lot left in the tank, and Veritek again has done a nice job early on. Lester had no command, and they worked their way through the early innings, and now he's got command of all of his pitches. And he used the 2-seamer away.
And he got it there.
I said 2-seamer. Actually, it's a 1-seamer, which is really unusual. And John Lester picked up the pitch from Tim Hudson when they both worked out in the offseason. He uses a 1-seam sinker ball grip, and it has really been effective for him.
I'd never heard of such a pitch until you described it, and Lester showed it to you.
Yeah, Lester talked about it. He met with, you see the grip on the left there is the old grip. That's a traditional 2-seam grip, and the new grip is more of a 1-seam grip with his middle finger, and he has all of the force on that middle finger, and it imparts a spin with just 1 seam rolling over and over.
Outside corner, strike 3.
And that's the pitch right there. That's what Mike Scioscia's club didn't see in April because he wasn't using the outer half of the plate, and it has become money for him. You talk about a perfect pitch. Target outside, he delivers on the black at the knees. No chance. 1 for 15 with 2 strikes, and he has been money.
6 in a row. Terry Francona has said he is getting stronger by the inning, stronger by the game. He has proved that tonight. They're clear for Anderson. Another strike. A different John Lester, but to this point, the same result for the Angels against the Red Sox in the postseason. But a long way to go yet.
Seventh inning, 112 pitches, 95 miles an hour. That's pretty legit.
What isn't legit is how they list him in the media guide. 190 pounds. He's bigger and stronger than that. flinch by Veritek. Didn't get the call. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Garrett Anderson, who's 2 for 3 in tonight's game. Lester will try to make that 1 for 16.
Oh,
what a breaking ball.
Everybody was leaving. Lester was leaving. Garrett was leaving. He thought it was strike 3. They were all going to the dugout. Watch the reaction of the pitcher and the hitter. That's a curveball. Anderson's ready to go to the dugout. Lester's ready to go to the dugout, and they go, wait a minute.
He couldn't hit it, but he wasn't sure. So the count now even 2-2. Followed it up.
But that's a good curveball. About 78 miles an hour, tight spin. And it's not a curveball that goes up. It's one that comes out of his hand on the same plane as a fastball, and that's the most difficult one to stay on. Pitch count, 4 days rest, all those things are out the door September and October.
Two. And Teixeira waiting on deck. He's got plenty of thunder. He too would be thinking about turning this game around. It's 2-1 Boston.
Lester's only given up 14 home runs during the regular season.
Broken bat pop to second, and the inning is over. 7 up, 7 down for John Lester. 7 innings are in the books, and the Red Sox lead by a run. Hope you're enjoying Game 1 of our ALDS matchup between the Red Sox and the Angels from Anaheim, as Darren Oliver continues on to face Kevin Youkilis. Then J.D. Drew, Jason Bay, the 3 up in the 8th for the Red Sox. Youkilis tonight 1 for 2 with a walk and a run, and he unloads down the left field line. Is that fair? No. Foul ball. Oh, did he have a good rip at that ball?
Well, he sure did. And Tim Shader, the left field umpire, camped on the foul line. Watch the umpire the farthest away from third base. He turns, and then he's going to position himself right on the foul line and gets a real good look at this thing as it hooks just left of the foul pole. Extra umpires in the postseason, 1 down each line. Might have been a home run at Fenway Park because the fence isn't that deep.
Yeah. He hit that so hard it might have gone through the Green Monster in Boston. 3 balls and a strike. The Red Sox have made lots of hay late. They'd love to tack on some insurance up a run. Full count.
Now, the Red Sox have outscored the Angels 17-1 from the 8th inning on in the last 6 postseason games.
Breaking ball, fly ball, left center. Torrey Hunter. Rare chance for Hunter tonight. 1 away as John Lester got the glad hand from his Red Sox teammates after 7 terrific innings of work tonight.
John Farrell, the pitching coach, with a pat on the chest and good attaboy as John Lester finished up like so many thoroughbreds. 7 straight batters retired to end up the outing, punctuating a good start.
Figgins at third, takes care of J.D. Drew. And quickly, 2 men are out. And Darren Oliver will see his night come to a close. He fired a scoreless inning with a strikeout. So Oliver gets the pat on the back. He did his job. Youkilis and Drew are done in the 8th inning. Jason Bay coming up. We'll tell you who will face him from that vaunted Angel pen in a moment. Bases clear, 2 outs, 8th inning in Anaheim. Red Sox 2-1 in Game 1. Scott Shields is on in relief of Darren Oliver. And DHL presents the MLB Delivery Man. Tonight we focus on Scott Shields. 64 games in regular season play and a .270 earned run average.
You see the opponent's batting average at .236. He is tough. Good sinking fastball and a wicked hard breaking ball.
Fans, go to MLB.com to cast your vote for the 2008 DHL presents MLB Delivery Man of the Year award. Jason Bay, the hitting hero for the Red Sox, is 1 for 3 tonight.
And they go right back to that breaking ball. That's what was so effective against Jason Bay in his first 2 at bats. He struck out twice on big curveballs from John Lackey.
Down the right field line. That's trouble. Matthews can't get there, and that's up against the wall. Jason Bay with a couple of extra base hits in his playoff debut tonight.
A little bit of a lazy breaking ball from Scott Shields, and Bay stays back on it, uses his hands, and goes the opposite way down the right field corner. 3 breaking balls in a row, and it's meant to be down and away, and it's in a pretty good spot, but he was sitting on it and was able to drive it into the corner. Stays in the ballpark, and he ends up with the 2-out double. And this blimp will give you perspective of where Matthews Jr. is, where he has to come over, play the ball off the wall, and fire it back to the infield.
What a night for Bay. Here's Lowell, 0 for 3. Big question mark whether or not Lowell or J.D. Drew would be able to play tonight at all in Game 1. Both of them worked out, swung the bats yesterday. Terry Francona said he was pleasantly surprised at how well Lowell came out of the workouts in Boston and here in Anaheim, and penciled him in the 7th spot in tonight's order. J.D. Drew also started tonight. 4 at bats since August 17th in regular season action. Got 4 tonight and is hitless. And the question will be, how do they come out of tonight's game and how do they feel tomorrow? And can they go Game 2 Friday night? Ball too high.
J.D. Drew looks like he's okay when he's on the field, but he said that a lot of trouble after the game when his back tightens up, whether or not he can get comfortable or not. I don't know how comfortable he looks right there.
No.
I mean, he has run well. He seems to swing the bat well, and you just hope that he is healthy enough to continue in this series.
2-2.
But boy, what a boost it is to have these 2 veterans in the lineup. Mike Lowell, the World Series MVP a year ago. J.D. Drew, the hottest hitter in baseball in the month of June, carried this club on his shoulders.
Bay at second with 2 outs in a 1-run game.
That's the check swing that hurts Mike Lowell. You can see him hitting his hip. That's what hurts him, where he pushes off that right hip and then checks his swing. Watch the reaction. It's his right hip that causes him so much pain, and you see how he gets off that backside. For some reason, that check swing creates the most pain for him when he's at the plate.
Dave Maggott, the Red Sox hitting coach, telling us it's what he calls a violent take. Fisted slowly to the right side, and Lowell hobbling toward first is an easy out. Will Lowell be able to continue defensively as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning in Anaheim? Justin Masterson is on for the Red Sox to try to hold him at bay in the 8th inning. He's got a tough frame ahead. Teixeira, Guerrero, Torrey Hunter.
Masterson appeared in 36 games. He started out starting for this club, went back to the minors and made the conversion to relieving, and he's been lights out. Fastball, slider, handles left-handers very well, especially if he's got some rest, and that's the situation he's in right now. So Terry Francona is using him as the setup guy in the 8th.
0-2 to Teixeira. He held up that time. And Rapuano's had a busy night on the appeals at third. 1-2 to Teixeira, who's 2 for 3 tonight. Again, the middle of the order for the Angels has been very productive. Teixeira 2 hits. Guerrero on base twice. Torrey Hunter on base twice with their lone run batted in. At the bottom of the order, Kendrick, Napoli, Matthews, Ibar. 0 for 12. Sean Figgins 0 for 4. So from 0-2 to 3-2.
First postseason appearance. Trying to be a little too fine, possibly. Got out in front and then trying to make perfect pitches, and he got Teixeira right back in this at bat.
Broken bat pop up, shallow center. Can Ellsbury get there? He can. What a play. Speed never slumps.
No, it doesn't. He got a great jump on it. He's the only one who's going to make this play. Watch him in center field. He gets a great jump. He's got a lot of speed, and here he comes. Lowry can't get to it. Ellsbury sees that, and he dives and saves a base hit for Justin Masterson. What a good effort.
And a huge first out as Vladimir Guerrero bats. Guerrero had the key at bat in this game, Buck, back in the first inning. 2 on, 1 out. Popped up the first pitch. And the Angels, after loading the bases, did not score.
Dramatic turnaround from 2007, middle of the order. They already have 4 hits tonight in this series. They had 5 total last year.
Guerrero, no extra base hits in his last 51 postseason at bats. If Angel fans are thinking about a home run here, it's been a long dry spell for him. Breaking ball, shot into left field. Potential tying run on with 1 out in the 8th, and Torrey Hunter's coming up.
Boy, this is a bullet. Pitches away from him, and he hooks it past Jed Lowry at shortstop into left field.
Hunter an RBI single in the 3rd after a Jed Lowry error. He's 1 for 4 with a homer against Masterson in his career and nearly got hit.
I'm surprised Veritek hasn't gone to the mound yet, just to help Masterson regroup here. This will make the manager pace a little bit. A little dry mouth, needs some Gatorade.
Or some more gum. We showed you that earlier. One ball, 1 strike.
Masterson has given up 10 home runs in the season. Just 88 in the 3rd innings. He came up as a starter. John Lackey did a good job starting game 1 for the Angels.
He'd love a ground ball here. Instead gets a pop-up. That's behind first. That's trouble. Euclid can't get it. Guerrero around 3rd. The throw to 3rd, and he is out at 3rd. A blue pit, and Guerrero wandered too far, tried to take the extra base and force the action, and it cost the Angels a 2nd out.
He was committed to running the moment that ball hit the ground, and he never picked up Euclid. Kevin Euclid makes a great play after he dives to this ball. Watch how quickly he picks the ball up and pops to his feet. He's a Gold Glove first baseman, and here you see why. Right to his feet. Look at Guerrero. He just touched second when that throw's on his way, and Vladdy is out by 15 feet.
He actually paused at second base. May have run through a stop sign. But the Angels, as we know, preach first to third from the first day of spring training. That time it may have cost him. Now Howie Kendrick with 2 outs. Still a 1-run Boston lead.
Well, Guerrero's got to see where that ball's going to fall, and you can see the hesitation. He looked up momentarily, but third base coach can't help him much on that. He had committed to going to third, and Euclid got to the ball very quickly and made a great play. No reason to risk going to third right there.
And he was already in scoring position.
Yeah.
And instead of first and second with 1 out, it's a runner at first, 2 outs in a 1-run game in the 8th. And just like facing Mike Scioscia's club, you don't want to trail Jonathan Papelbon and Boston going to the 9th.
Now, you had mentioned the Angels going first to third on singles. Did it the most. They were tied 105 times they went first to third on singles, but that was a little too aggressive.
Close games, little things mean a lot, and that's a huge turnaround for Masterson, who's been shaky in the 8th. And falls behind Kendrick 2-0.
You know, the whole thing about that play is he can't advance to second until he sees the ball hit the ground. And he wasn't to second when that ball hit the ground, and then he decides that he can go to third 90 feet, and Euclid was only about 150 feet away.
Outfield very deep all around for Kendrick. 2-1.
Here's the play again. A little flare behind the first base bag. Euclid. Look where Guerrero is. Ball's on the ground. He's not around second yet. And a good throw by Euclid, and Lowell has plenty of time to put the tag on Guerrero.
He ran through a stop sign too. He was told to stop, and Guerrero didn't. Euclid dug that throw out.
Well, Vladdy knows he made a mistake there, and you love your players to be aggressive, but you want them to be selectively aggressive.
Even count, 2-2. Kendrick thought it was high. Now he turns and argues either on what he thought was a missed call or perhaps a missed opportunity to wail away in the 8th.
It's a slider at sidearm delivery, and it caught the inside part of the plate. Kendrick didn't think so. Torrey Hunter's got to run on this pitch in my mind. 19 steals on the season. You've just got to try to force it.
Not going. Popped up, foul ground, and out of play. And the count's still 2-2.
Masterson's done a good job of utilizing that slide step and unloading in a hurry. Made it tough on Torrey Hunter here.
Howie Kendrick, 25 years of age. Born in Jacksonville, Florida, lives in Phoenix, a 10th round pick by the Angels in 2002. His first taste of the big leagues back in 2006.
Well, they think he's going to win a batting title one of these days. He's just not been able to stay healthy. This year he spent 2 different long stints on the disabled list and missed 65 games. But he can hit.
Tonight he's 0 for 3. You mentioned you'd like to see Torrey Hunter try to force the action here with 2 outs. Is it tough to run against Masterson?
Not really. He just has done a good job in this particular situation.
Good at bat by Kendrick continues.
They have stolen 9 of 10 against Masterson. But remember, he made 9 starts before he made the conversion to the bullpen. And obviously, as a reliever, you almost have to be better at holding runners in because you're in tough situations. So he's made some very effective adjustments. He's unloading in a hurry here.
How big was Jacoby Ellsbury's diving catch to start this inning? Guerrero followed with a single. Torrey Hunter blooped one out of reach of Youkilis at first. He speared it on the ground. Guerrero ran through a stop sign trying to go from first to third and was thrown out easily for the second out. And now a runner at first, 2 outs in the last of the 8th inning in the middle of this order. Up for the Angels. To short. Lowry's got it. Pedroia the stretch, and Masterson survives the 8th inning. Unbelievable defense and a bad base running blunder cost the Halos a chance to tie it as we go to the 9th inning. Buck Martinez, Chip Carey, 9th inning in Anaheim. Craig Sager alongside as well. As Scott Shields goes back to work to face Lowry, Varitek, and Ellsbury in the 9th inning, with the Red Sox leading by 1. Base hit left field by Lowry. So he's 1 for 3. And the Red Sox looking for some 9th inning insurance. Tonight's aerial coverage is provided to you by Goodyear. Get home in comfort with Goodyear Silent Armor technology. Boy, did we have a great shot from the blimp on that base running play just a few moments ago here in Anaheim, California.
It really showed you that Guerrero wasn't at second base when Youkilis picked up the ball. He just turned and fired to third, and even though it was off the mark, Mike Lowell had plenty of time to put the tag on Guerrero.
Now Jason Varitek in the 3rd inning thought about bunting with Lowry at first leading off that inning. Angels think he might try it again, looking for some insurance here in the 9th. And he doesn't tip his hand as Shields steps off. Varitek 0 for 3. But what a marvelous job of guiding John Lester through 7 innings of 6 hits, 7 strikeout baseball tonight. And he is bunting, and it's down the first base line. It stays fair, and the captain comes through for Boston.
He didn't have a sacrifice in either of the last 2 seasons, and puts down a beauty. Squares around, and I tell you what, the baselines here are slanted to fair territory. Once that ball is inside the foul line, it is not going foul.
So Varitek gives Boston a chance to add to its lead with Ellsbury coming up. Jacoby with a couple of hits. He's been on base 4 times tonight. Doubled to start the game, nearly hit it out. Reached on a force play in the 3rd, singled, stole a bag in the 5th, and reached 3rd on a 3-base error by Gary Matthews last time up. That was in the 7th.
Well, people forget that Jacoby Ellsbury is a rookie. He came up at the end of last season, but because he had such a prominent role in the postseason, you kind of assumed that this was his 2nd season. He is still officially a rookie, and he's put together a marvelous 2nd season. 50 steals. He has played flawless in the field. He has not committed an error all season long, and you can see what an athletic outfielder he is as he made that great catch sliding in center field. When you have a center fielder like this, and he's not even their best center fielder. The best one is Coco Crisp.
1 ball, 1 strike. Ellsbury has had a huge impact at the top of the order. Had a huge impact in that Boston dugout after that sprawling catch for the first out in the Angels' 8th. Now he's behind, 1 ball, 2 strikes as Ibar plays hide and seek behind Jed Lowry, the shortstop. Good rip and stays alive.
Well, he got better and better as last year's postseason unfolded. Just 2 at-bats in a division series against the Angels. He got 8 at-bats and hit .250 against the Indians in the ALCS, and then wore it out against Colorado. Hit 4 doubles, had 7 hits, hit .438 in 4 games in the World Series.
Red Sox have not hit well with runners on base tonight. They're 1 for 14. But boy, was that hit a biggie. It was Jason Bay's 2-run homer in the 6th. That erased a 1-run Angels lead. If you are just joining us or are sleep deprived on the East Coast, here's the Bay Homer.
A no-doubter. He knew immediately it was a fastball that was up and out over the plate from John Lackey, and Lackey had punched him out in his first 2 at-bats on good curveballs down and away. Pretty good finish pitch right there. Shields trying to use that front door 2-seamer and just missed off the plate inside.
Ellsbury, just 25 years old, out of Madras, Oregon. First round pick in 2005 by Boston. Hits it to right and through for a hit. Here comes Lowry around third. The throw by Matthews, cut off, and it's 3-1 Boston. They don't have to sit around and wait for the 3-run homer. They can manufacture offense at will. A 3-hit night for Ellsbury and a big insurance run.
And they tried to come inside again with that running 2-seamer and left it up and got out over the plate a bit. Lowry, who got his first hit in the series, scores that insurance run, and Ellsbury has been on base 5 times.
So this Angels crowd is stunned. Some of them starting to head for the exits. They've seen it all before. They have lost 9 straight games to the Red Sox in postseason play, and they're in danger of falling for a 10th straight time tonight.
Well, the thing that they have in their favor this year that is different from years past is they've got all-star pitchers coming in Game 2 and Game 3. Irvin Santana and Joe Saunders. They both pitched in the All-Star game. Pitching coach Mike Butcher knows that they are deeper in the starting staff than they've been in years.
But for this Boston club, I mean, it sounds crazy to say as you see Papelbon getting ready for the bottom half of this inning. The Red Sox are, after all, the defending world champions. And with all the talk about the Angels being the best team in baseball, and by their record, they certainly are. As the runner at first is on his way to second, and it's another steal for Ellsbury. A bang-bang play. He steals another base.
Boy, he really accelerates into the bag as well. Full speed after his first strike. Watch how quickly he gets to the bag. Extends that left leg straight toward the bag and beats the tag. You go in there with a bent leg and you might be called out.
50 steals in the regular season, 2 out of 2 in the playoffs. And it's just a different Boston ball club. It's a different Angels ball club. A high strike to Pedroia. And this is such a big game for the Red Sox to win, if they can win it. Beckett couldn't go for Terry Francona in Game 1. Lester continues to grow up before the Red Sox nation's eyes tonight. And that one got a big piece of Napoli behind the plate. And that'll bring the Angels trainer out for a visit. Napoli got hammered with that foul ball.
Well, he sure did, and this ball hits him. You can see he's standing upright. That ball hits him right on that kneecap, right in the crease of that shin guard, and there's not much protection there because you have to have the flexibility. But boy, he takes the brunt of it right on the point of that kneecap. And you see all the different layers of protection he has there, but when you hit in the crease of that shin guard right there, that's when you don't have a whole lot of protection. And it looked like he got it right as that knee was flexed. The additional padding there really protects you most of the time. Then once in a while, when you have that kneecap flex, that really exposes you to a vulnerable spot, and obviously the chances of getting hit on a foul tip.
Take a look, take a listen.
That's why it's amazing Joe Mauer can win batting titles the way catchers take a beating. That Mauer's won 2. Gio Soto with the Cubs had to be taken out of the game because his hand was so bruised from catching. And Mike Scioscia appreciates the wear and tear these catchers go through, but for an offensive player like Mauer to win 2 batting titles at 25 years old is a remarkable accomplishment.
A 1-2 pitch now won't be made. Boston with 2 runs in the 6th, 1 here in the 9th inning. Now they have a 2-run lead, and in the Angels' 9th, they'll have the 7, 8, and 9 hitters coming up. Breaking ball, hammered foul.
It's interesting how oftentimes the setup guy doesn't get the attention or the acknowledgement he deserves, but Justin Masterson came in the 8th inning and pitched to the tough part of the lineup. Teixeira, Guerrero, Hunter, and Kendrick, and got through it unscathed. He may get a hold, but that may have been the save of the game.
Ground ball off Shields. He'll recover. He'll throw to first. Runner to third, Ellsbury. Heads up base running by Jacoby Ellsbury as Pedroia rolls out. And the Red Sox have been playing pinball with these Angels pitchers tonight.
3rd time a pitcher's been hit with the comebacker, and you can see Shields knocks it down with his bare hand. Look at Ellsbury standing in the middle between 2nd and 3rd to make sure the throw goes to first. He's bouncing back, keeping his eye on the pitcher, and once that throw is on his way to first base, he speeds over to 3rd. An instinctive reaction from the pitcher to reach out and knock that ball down. He appears to be okay as he was checked by the trainer and the pitching coach, Mike Butcher.
So here's David Ortiz again. His 11-game LDS hit streak is on the line in this 9th inning at bat. He is 0 for 4 tonight and has yet to get the ball out of the infield. And he loves seeing this Angels reliever.
3 home runs in his last 5 at bats against Scott Shields.
Ground ball up the middle. Base hit for Ortiz, and Boston adds another.
The tack on runs. David Ortiz with that hit extends his hit streak in the division series to 12 games.
And Red Sox Nation in Anaheim enjoying the late innings tonight. We showed you how well they had done in scoring in late innings against the Angels in postseason. They've struck for 2 more here in the 9th inning. Shields is out of the game. It's a 20-1 run for the Red Sox from the 8th inning on in their last 7 postseason games. And Jose Arredondo is on to try to put out another 9th inning fire in Game 1 in Anaheim.
Jose Arredondo comes on to work. He worked 52 games in the regular season with a very good 10-2 record. Outstanding arm. He's a converted infielder, very athletic, and he's got a great arm and a very good split finger pitch. Heavy ball, 22 walks in 61 innings, and he is a guy that they think can eventually morph into a closer.
And if he morphs, they hope maybe he'll morph quickly, because if the Angels don't bring back K-Rod, they're going to be in the market for a closer. Maybe this kid could be the answer at the end of the games. He's got a big arm. 95 miles an hour evens the count. Two runs on 3 9th inning hits for the Red Sox. They've opened up a 4-1 lead, and this capacity crowd in Anaheim has been quiet since Bay hit the 2-run homer in the 6th. Even the rally monkey didn't help the Angels tonight. Toward third, Figgins, good play, long throw. Teixeira scoops it nicely. Inning over. 2 runs, 3 hits. It's Papelbon time for the bottom of the 9th inning in game 1. 4-1, the Red Sox trying to steal back home field advantage from the Angels, and they turn things over now to their closer, Jonathan Papelbon, with a 3-run lead.
Well, one thing that's constant with these postseason teams, they all have a big guy at the end of their bullpen, and this is Boston's Jonathan Papelbon. Look at what he has done for the course of the season. He has been dominant, and certainly against this lineup. The current Angels postseason roster, 1 hit in 38 at-bats against Papelbon.
Wow, 1 for 38. And how big were those 9th inning runs for the Red Sox offense? Papelbon has not blown a save with a 3-run lead. 22 for 22. A 1-run lead, different story, and that's what it would have been had Boston not tacked on 2 more in the 9th. So Mike Napoli stands in his way first in the bottom of the 9th inning. Napoli 0 for 3. Much of the talk in the Boston newspapers, on the blogs, on the internet, was Papelbon over-relying on his fastball. Your thoughts?
Not true. He's a fastball pitcher. His command has been off ever so slightly. Jason Varitek, we asked him the same question. He said, I'll give him the ball and I'll ask him to throw fastballs. He's a fastball pitcher. His command has been off. He can locate his fastball all 4 quadrants of the strike zone. That's what he does.
And when he locates it, it's overpowering. 1-2.
He throws a slider and a split finger pitch, and they're both very good quality pitches. But at the same time, in this situation, you're up by 3. I mean, you're going to have to get a lot of hits off Papelbon to score 3 runs, and that fastball is his #1 weapon. And Varitek wants it up.
And he got it there. Napoli 0 for 4, and he was one of the hottest hitters in baseball in September.
It's October.
Indeed it is. And the Red Sox 2 outs away from stealing game 1. Kendry Morales now pinch hits for Gary Matthews. Morales with 3 homers, 8 driven in, and a .213 average this year. And he wails away and is down a strike. Morales out of Cuba. Hit .341 with 15 homers, 64 knocked in at AAA Salt Lake this year. Made his playoff debut in last year's first round against the Red Sox. Went 1 for 9 as the Angels were injury riddled, you'll recall, in their matchup with the Red Sox. The Angels have lost 9 playoff games in a row to Boston. And that one ripped into right. So Morales a pinch hit single. And slowly the crowd tries to get back in this thing in the 9th.
Well, Morales can get on top of a fastball. That's why he was called upon to pinch hit against Papelbon, and he turned on it and pounded it into right field.
Trying to get the rally monkey going. And Ibar coming up 0 for 3. Tough man to double up. He's hitting only 2 double plays this year. Very fast. As the Angels try to get this lineup turned over to the heart of their order again. Strike 1.
Well, there's no reason to take pitches against Jonathan Papelbon. He throws a lot of strikes. He comes right at you. He's only had 1 walk since the 5th of July in over 32 innings pitched. He's not going to walk himself into trouble, so you might as well go up there and turn it loose. Teixeira and Kendrick comparing notes on Papelbon. I'd love to have a chance to get to him. Certainly Teixeira would. That would mean he would be in a position to get the Angels back in this game.
Runner at first goes. Boston concedes the base. That takes away the double play chance. Defensive indifference is the official score, so no steal for Morales. John Lester, brilliant, in place of Josh Beckett. Another Boston postseason star, perhaps born tonight. How about that swing? In the dirt, low throw, 2 outs. Second strikeout, 2-3 put out. We do not play baseball here in Anaheim tomorrow. Game 2 of the series, which was the Angels' option to set up the series this way, will be here Friday night. Daisuke Matsuzaka, Irvin Santana meet in Game 2. Of this series. Sean Figgins, the final hope. He's 0 for 4.
Another fastball, get ahead. And that's what makes Papelbon so effective. He throws so many strikes, you've got to expand your strike zone. And like we mentioned, he didn't walk himself into trouble.
Right on by. 0-2, and the Red Sox are 1 strike away.
And the Angels close to losing their 10th straight in postseason play against the Boston Red Sox. So much for the 8 out of 9 during the regular season.
Which is what everybody said would be the case. It is a new season, but for the Red Sox to this point, it's the same old story. And now Veritek wants to make sure with this 0-2 pitch to Sean Figgins.
Right, Veritek wasn't really sure he agreed with that one right there, but kind of went, okay, if that's what you think. Daisuke, 18-3 this season. Best opponent's batting average in the American League, .211. Daisuke Matsuzaka, 9-0 on the road this year.
And he pitches Game 2. But first an 0-2 in the 9th.
Well, this is the guy you need right here. You've got to be aggressive to retire Sean Figgins. Garrett Anderson's on deck, and he would represent the tying run.
And Anderson's had a good night at the plate. Red Sox would just as soon see him on Friday night for the second game. Ball game. Boston comes to Anaheim and beats the Angels in Game 1 by a 4-1 final. A missed opportunity for the Angels in the 8th inning. Aggressive base running by Vladimir Guerrero cost him a chance to tie it up. The Red Sox add 2 in the top of the 9th inning and run to 10 consecutive postseason wins against the Angels. That ties a major league record for most consecutive wins by one team versus another. Oakland, ironically enough, won 10 in a row over the Red Sox from 1988 to 2003. It's the same old story. When the Angels and Red Sox meet, Boston wins, and win they did tonight by a 4-1 final score in Anaheim, California.